So international pet travel, it's interesting that I would be talking about this right now. We're still at this time of this recording in the middle of, a continued and ongoing global pandemic where it seems like travel wouldn't really be happening as much. But I've been seeing just a ton of patients coming in to have international health certificates done. Part of this is because we are one of the few hospitals in the area that does them. A lot of hospitals have declined to do them, or they're just so busy that they can't kind of fit them in, so they send them over to us. Um, the thing that I want to say about these is that they almost never go off without a hitch, because we don't think about pet travel when we're getting our well care done. We don't necessarily think about what the requirements might be. You cannot just hop on an airplane with your pet and go internationally. So countries have a right to try to protect their borders from different foreign diseases, and they do that in various different ways. And every country has a really different setup for what they require. So, it can be as simple as just making sure a pet is rabies vaccinated and signing off on their health. It can be as complicated as requiring multiple rabies titers to be done under certain circumstances with certain labs. Some of the interesting ones, we had a pet that is potentially traveling to South Africa who has to get a boatload of testing done for diseases that, no, we don't see here very often, but they sure want to keep out of South Africa because of their wildlife population. So, that process has to start many months before that pet is ever going to travel. South Korea is another one. A lot of the Asian countries have requirements for rabies titers and things like that. Hawaii is interstate, but you cannot just simply hop on an airplane and take your pet there. They don't have rabies, and they're trying to keep it that way. So my advice to people is, if you're thinking about traveling with your pet, call your vet the minute you think you might want to. And I'm not saying a week before, I'm saying 6 months in advance. Call them and find out if they even do these certificates, which they may not. And if they don't, ask them where they would advise that you go to get your certificate done. And then call up that hospital and make an appointment to review all of your paperwork in advance. I get constantly appointments scheduled, don't have any paperwork sent to me in advance to review it. And I get to this appointment and say to the owner, you're not going to be traveling to Spain with your dog. Your dog can't go on a vacation with you at the last minute to Spain if it hasn't had particular requirements met ahead of time. So that's just my little public service announcement is, if you're going to be traveling internationally, please plan it in advance and make sure that all of the records are at the vet that's doing the international certificate before you go there for that appointment. So, Lauren, do you have any other things that you wanted to talk about on this?
No, I think that's great information. And to throw out as well, some countries have very specific time frames for when things have to
Yes.
be done. The UK, for example, you have to do something, 6 weeks before and then 4 weeks before, as well as 6 months in advance.
Right.
So they are strict schedules.
Yeah. Just to give you like an example, one of the most common requirements, and this is all of Europe and the UK, is that a pet has to be microchipped to go there. You cannot travel internationally unless they are. But your pet also has to be rabies vaccinated after the microchip is placed. So you cannot schedule an appointment with me 10 days before you're going to travel and say, oh, I'll just get the microchip put in then. It'll be fine. No, because that means that you are effectively, as far as the UK and the European Union are concerned, your pet is not vaccinated until it receives the microchip. Even if it's had 5 rabies vaccines throughout its life, it is considered unvaccinated. And then you have to wait a certain amount of time after the first rabies vaccine is done. So that microchip has to be in place it has to be at least 30 days before you're going to travel. Give a rabies vaccine even on the day of the microchip placement is fine, but you have to wait now. And that's true if it's overdue for its vaccination as well. You have to wait 30 days. So you can't have an unvaccinated or not up to date cat or dog that you just go and schedule an appointment to get your certificate done. And then these certificates have to be sent to the USDA to be certified. So you have to have a little bit of time for that. It's just not a simple process. And so please schedule it in advance.
And we also have a little bit of information, some blogs on our website. So if you go to ethosvet.com and go to the blogs,
Which
you
I
can
think
search.
I wrote.
I think you might have written some of them. Yeah. So you can just search international travel. You'll find some information there as well.
Yeah, great. All right. So I think we're going to say goodbye to you for today. And thank you for joining us. I just want to thank our sponsors, Ethos Veterinary, our sponsor, Ethos Veterinary Health. And as always, Lauren and Rachel, who are our producers / directors of these episodes, they do just so much work of editing and everything. So directing us to provide you with an informative and not ranty podcast. So, thank you so much, Lindsay. We'll be back in the next episode, and have a great day.